It was this time last year the Halloween Ends came out, and it finished up the David Gordon Green trilogy of Halloween. And we can say right throughout the entire trilogy there was highs and there was lows. So we're going to get through the pros and the cons of the Halloween trilogy, and then end it with what they could have done better. So, without hesitation, let's get straight into it. First pro is Michael, played by James Jude Courtney, and various other actors that put the mask on throughout the trilogy. But in general, Michael, he was the least thing wrong with this trilogy. He really was. He was the kills, the way he moved, the way he looked, the mask was everything. The outfit, just the way he had it down, like just from Nick Castle, who had a cameo in 2018, and but yeah, I mean, Michael was just ruthless in this trilogy. It's primarily the first two, 2018 and Kills. He was at his most brutal and most savage. He got toned down in Ends for story significance, which we'll get into. But overall, you cannot fault him. He was just perfect. James Jude Courtney played him to perfection. He might even take the throne as the best Michael. Who knows? We might do a ranking one day of all the Michaels. But yeah, he was the least thing wrong with it. Second pro would be the kills. The kills are fucking brutal. Like from 2018, the fucking stamping on heads, crushing them to shit with a stomp. Kills has the biggest number, I think, possibly the highest kill count in the whole franchise. But personally, my favorite kill would be in Kills whenever, the old couple and fucking goes in, he breaks the light and he just sticks it in their neck. It's just like, what the fuck? And then he has that creepy ass scene where he's like all with the knives and he's like turning around. It's like, it makes you wonder, like, what the fuck is he doing? It brings back that, like, either childlike curiosity of, again, some performance which I've praised in the previous pro. James Jude Courtney, bringing all these simple little gestures, and it develops the character. It makes him creepier. It makes him more intimidating. But yeah, that kill was brutal. And making the lady watch, who somehow survived after that. Luckily, one of the only people to survive Michael, especially in this trilogy. But yeah, that's my favorite one. It was just brutal, but so many kills were just amazing. Like the fireman scene in the beginning of Kills was phenomenal. Like, wow, just fucking kick ass, dude. So yeah, the Kills, that's the second pro. Yeah. Pro number 3 is the music. The music is fucking phenomenal by the Carpenters. Just wow. In all 3 movies, the music is just on point. Yet again, the music is also one of the last things wrong with this trilogy. Just amazing. That iconic score, the theme, and then all the music that just literally is added to the scene perfectly. Like literally every scene, the music doesn't seem out of place, or it doesn't seem like, okay, that doesn't go well with the scene. Like, it's just perfect. It's like the choreography in terms of music, like seeing the scene, like reading it on paper and saying, okay, this music would go this way, but it's just fucking unreal. It's just, can't praise it enough. The music, 10 out of 10. Fourth pro, the cinematography. say what you want about this trilogy, say what you want about like how bad even ends, say what you want, shit on it, why not? But you can't deny the cinematography is great. The lighting, the camera view, like for example, there's a scene in 2018 where it's all like just one shot. Well, technically it's two shots. People always assume, whenever Michael's standing in the street and he turns around, he walks into the back garden and grabs the hammer. People assume that's all one scene, but technically it's two. Walks in there, you walk behind him, you follow him to the shed, grabs the hammer, then it cuts. And then it goes to like seeing the window and seeing Michael coming in. That's all one shot. Seeing him go in, kill the lady, and then follows him into the house, goes into the living room, sees the baby. Thankfully, walked away. I think all of our hearts stopped at that scene. But walks on out the door. That's all one shot, that part. But the lighting as well. Like, even it ends. Like, yeah, it's not the best, but the lighting is great. Like, when you see Michael, like, in the sewer, when you have that lighting, the bluish tint, that looks cool. It's good, and even that scenery comes out of the burning house. That's just amazing. That's just kick-ass. Like, the whole scene was just standing there with a fucking thing, the big pole, the knife, whatever the fuck it is. Knife? It's not a knife, is it? No, but yeah, the whole point is the lighting, it's the cinematography is just on point. It's fucking unreal. Number 5 is a personal choice for me, and that is the flashback scene. The whole flashback scene in Halloween Kills, the very beginning. It's genuinely perfectly done. Like, it genuinely feels like an extension of the 1978 Halloween. Like, like little things, like when Michael comes out, he doesn't like stab or kill, brutal kills, like when he comes out, did what he did back then, it was just strangling, that little tiny little details like that they obviously paid attention to it. In fact, I would love, I know they're saying there could be a TV series or whatever coming out, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but can you imagine if they did a full like TV series, like series 1, like that, the flashback, like a whole untold story of that night, the night Michael came back. I'd watch it. I think that would get interest. It'd get people excited, maybe. But yeah, like with a cop standing there, and it's like a place where nothing happens. Then Michael just comes out, that iconic like boom out of the closet or whatever, grabs him, and Hoffman, of course, with the gun, shoots his partner, and Michael just off he goes. It's like, oh, well, you stole that kill, didn't you? I'm out of here. Fucks off. But yeah, and then of course you have Loomis in the scene. They had to bring him back, and did a good job with it. He looked good. He sounded a little bit iffy, but they gave it the best shot. He looked great. Nobody expected to see that this bit. Nobody expected Loomis to walk in with him. I remember in the theater, everyone was like, oh, it's Loomis. So yeah, in that sense, yeah. But that's my personal 5 anyway. I think a whole series based on that flashback would be a win. Depends on who directs it though, doesn't it? Someone could fuck it up. 6 is going to be The Mask. I think The Mask is just probably the best mask since the original. Has to be. I mean, I know Halloween 2, technically it's the same mask, but it's about the look. Which he did look good in 2. Don't get me wrong, it's just something about it. It just looks intimidating, and my personal favorite would be the Kills version, with the half-burnt mask. I think that's just such a badass look, I mean, clearly 2018 mask clearly inspired like the likes of the latest Scream 6. You know, it has the mask that looks worn out, and you know, so clearly they took inspiration from 2018. You know, which is awesome. I mean, it was a huge success. Kick-started the genre of slasher movies. So, you know, if they had have ended at 2018, yeah, my number 6 is The Mask. And before we move over to the cons, I just want to throw in just as number 7, but it's, you know, I haven't even wrote it down or anything. I was just throwing it out. Jamie Lee Curtis, she was brilliant. You know, she was, of course she was great. She's an amazing actress. You know, she's wonderful. She brings a lot to it. You know, and her character not utilized as good as it should have been. You know, probably the most closest to her character from the original version of her would be Enns, but that's not saying much. Overall, great actress. Now, on to the cons. Con number 1, the dialogue. Oh, Jesus. For example, like, there's a scene where Laurie goes into the restaurant in 2018 and her family's there and she's distraught, you know, because she just saw Michael being transferred. And instead of saying, I seen him, I seen Michael, she decides to say, I seen him, the shape. And it's so forced that you can't help but just roll your eyes when you hear it. It's like, what did she say? What shape? What, like triangle, square? What shape? What? It's bad. Then the infamous Evil Dies Tonight from Kills, which is ridiculous. The preachiness from Laurie in Kills, the more he kills, the more he transcends. Or, I used to think Michael Myers was just a man. So he was shot 6 times. You stabbed him in the stomach with a butcher knife. You stabbed him in the neck with a knitting needle. Fell off a balcony and got up and walked away. But you thought he was just a man before this movie? It's just bad. It's rough. It's one of those things that when you watch it, you can't help but roll your eyes and think, seriously? It's just so forced and so unnecessary. On number 2, it's going to be the out-of-place comedy. Now there is a lot throughout this trilogy. 2018, for example, you know, you have the scene where the babysitter is about to be killed, you know, and then you have the kid, it's like, oh shit, and then he bounces and he runs, and so overall, like, the whole scene, the whole build up in that scene, you know, can you close the closet door, you know, and it goes over, you know, and you get the whole trying to close it and open it, and you get scared. I remember in theaters, everyone was like, you know, screaming. And then you have the whole, straight after that, oh shit, the kid runs, then everyone just starts laughing. So that entire scene, throughout that whole kill scene, all the way to the part where he slams the door closed, everybody was just laughing. So that was meant to be a scary moment, like, and then it was just ruined with comedy. You know, everybody was laughing instead of, like, you know, it ruined that scene. There's only so much comedy you can put into a horror movie. You know, you could tell Danny McBride had some kind of input with the comedy. Of course, he was one of the producers, but you could tell dialogue like that, you knew, oh, that's Danny McBride. Of course it is. Great. I mean, there's comedy sometimes that does work, like when Laurie was walking around the neighborhood with a gun and Hoffman, like, scares her and she hits him, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? You know, that works. That's cool. That's funny. You know. But when you have comedy in a scene that's meant to be scary. It's meant to be a horror. It's meant to be like intense as fuck. And you have like someone just throwing out some stupid ass comedy line, and it just ruins the whole. It ruins that scene. Peanut butter on the penis? Why? That dialogue was so out of place for me. It's like, your daughter's there. Why would you say that? It just doesn't even make sense either. Like, there's just the comedy. No. There's a time and a place for comedy in horror movies. Just didn't work for me. Con number 3. And this is the biggest sin in my eyes. I've seen a lot of movies come out recently, like reboots or whatever, and they've tried to do the same thing and they just make the same mistake. Wasting legacy characters. Do you remember in the build-up to Halloween Kills, before the release, they were showing like behind-the-scenes production pictures of like the nurse that's coming back from the original Halloween, Sheriff Brackett, Lindsay Wallace, and Tommy. For some reason they recasted Tommy. I don't know why they just didn't get the original Tommy back. Maybe didn't want to do it. Who knows? But and everybody was excited. I was reading the comments. Everyone was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be cool. Yeah, they're coming back. Oh yeah, this should be interesting." And they completely wasted every single one of them except for Lindsay. Tommy was he was just running around, just evil dies tonight, and running around with a baseball bat, throughout the whole thing, and he only had one hit with that baseball bat throughout the whole movie. And that was at the end, whenever the mob were attacking Michael, he had that one hit, and that was it. Yeah, great. So, yeah, the nurse got the most embarrassing kill in my eyes. She had that line, "Hey Michael, this is for Dr. Loomis." And she gets her ass stabbed to shit. What was the point in bringing them back if you were just going to kill them off? Why? What was the purpose? She had a better death in Halloween H2O because she put up a fight, didn't she? She was hitting them with fucking golf clubs and shit. Lindsay Wallace was the only one who had decent character development, and she was smart. Like that intense scene, she's hiding behind a tree and Michael's like standing on a bridge just looking around. That was good. That was intense. I'm surprised no comedy dialogue was dumped into that. Thankfully not. But yeah, Sheriff Brackett, he said his iconic line, everyone's entitled to one good scare. Then later on, throat slit, he's fucked. Well, that's him gone. There was no point in bringing him back. If they had been killed off in Halloween Ends, then maybe, yeah, sure, okay, cool. Maybe they would have been utilized a bit better, but they weren't. They were completely wasted. Like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It brought back Sally. Look how that ended. It was just, if you're gonna do it right. They didn't do it right. Totally fucking wasted opportunity. Unforgivable. Con number 4. The plot holes. And there's a lot of plot holes. Primarily, the one I'm targeting is primarily between kills and ends. Like, I see what they're trying to do, I get it, they were saying that Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends is going to be filmed back to back, and Ends was supposed to take place straight after Kills, which it should have, but it didn't. There was a 4-year gap. I know they had a year off production during COVID, the pandemic, and after a year they came up with this idea and they ran with it and it didn't pay off very well, did it? But what's even annoying about it is like we had that whole build up to Karen being killed at the end of Kills, right? had that scene where Michael appears behind her, stabs her and kills her. And then you have that scene with Laurie at the end, like it looks like she sort of telepathically knew something was wrong or her daughter was in danger. And then it ended, with Michael looking out the window. Movie ends. Cut to Halloween ends. It's already 4 years later, so all that's done. That's it. Michael hasn't been seen in 4 years. Hiding in a fucking sewer. And that's another thing. People say, oh, well, Michael's just gotten old, or some people say that, he needs more kills to build up, like Pennywise, more fear makes him stronger. Like we had that where he killed the police officer and he stood up and, he was... Yet the homeless man said he's been killing for years, pulling people in. Yet he's still weak. Doesn't add up, doesn't make sense. But yeah, so we don't get to see Laurie's reaction to Karen being dead. That would have been great. That would have been like Brad Dourif in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The reaction of finding his daughter, the performance was fucking amazing. We could have had that with Laurie. Finding Karen, wasted opportunity. That would have been an amazing scene. It should have taken place straight after kills. Number 5. False advertisement. Do you remember when Halloween Ends was coming up and we were all promised this big final epic as fuck confrontation between Michael and Laurie? This was it. This was gonna be the fucking this was gonna be it. We got 5 minutes of that. 5 minutes. And it was at the very fucking end of the movie. Oh. False advertisement. Made us all believe that this entire movie was going to be Laurie versus Michael. The whole movie, the whole fucking plot was going to be surrounding them two. There was mention of Corey, sure, but there was rumors going around that there was a clip that was released whenever Michael walked in and Laurie had the gun and she shot. There was leaks saying that wasn't Michael that walked in. It was somebody else. That was the start of it. Everyone was like, wait, what the fuck? What? People thought maybe that was just one scene. Maybe it's just one scene where someone's maybe dressed up as Michael or something, but the rest, it's not what they said it was going to be. They said it was going to be Michael versus Laurie, big epic showdown. It was all a lie. It was false. We didn't get that until the last 5-10 minutes of the movie. And let's all be honest, it was pretty lackluster. It wasn't epic. No. He was so weakened, and that's everybody's problem with Halloween Ends. The main complaint you'll ask anybody, what do you think of Halloween Ends? Oh, they made Michael out to be a little bitch. That's the main complaint. And it is true. The last 5 minutes, that showdown was pathetic. We had a few hits, grabs, and she nailed him to a fucking a table, hammered it in with a fucking pan. It's fucking stupid. And oh god, yeah, false advertisement. The poster of Halloween Ends, even that is misleading as fuck. And that's just the poster. My 6th and final con, and this is probably just me nitpicking, but I personally feel Laurie should have died. At least in 2018. She should have died at the end, where they had the trap open and, where Michael was going upstairs and he grabbed Allison's foot. He's pulling her down. What should have happened was Laurie should have, taken a deep breath, dived in with them. Saving Allison, so they close the door, she keeps Michael down there. It would be like Halloween 2 ending. 1981. Loomis and Michael, it's time, Michael. Boom, the place blows up. It could have been similar to that. A little throwback. It would have been nice too. If they had just done that, but. And at this point, they weren't even sure they were having a sequel or not, so even more reason why they should have done it. It was only meant to be a one-off movie. But no. She had to linger on for 3 fucking movies and survived in Ends. I mean, come on! It's just handcuffed, they need to take the handcuffs off Jamie Lee Curtis and be able to have the movie independently walk on its own 2 legs without her having to need her, but yeah, that's my last con. Laurie should have died in 2018. She should have. So, what could they have done better? Well, they should have been more consistent. I get they didn't know this was going to be a trilogy when they made 2018, but whenever Kills came out, they should have been consistent with how Ends was going. They shouldn't have had a 4-year gap. They should have had it all in one, like Halloween 1 and 2, it was all in one night. They could have done that, have it all, 2018 Kills, Ends, all should have been one night, or 2 nights even, at the most. That, Laurie should have died in 2018, they should have had that, then, it's like passing the torch on to Allison, or Karen, the new Strodes, and have it with them, so that's what they should have done, and the next thing they should have done was probably just, I don't know. I know they didn't plan to have Corey in Ends while they were making Kills, but just pulling him in to a movie like Ends and suddenly introducing him, say, right, this is it, this is the plot point, good luck. Didn't work. If he was introduced in Kills and it all built up to that, maybe you could have got away with it. Just maybe. But no. So yeah, what could they have done differently? You should have more consistency. Dial down on the over-the-top dialogue. Just keep it basic and intense. Dial down on the comedy, because that sucked the horror out of the goddamn scenes. And had Laurie died in the first movie, so he could pass the torch on and make it more interesting. Laurie was kind of wasted in Kills anyway. She was in hospital, and she was just there making all of her dialogue was just preachy, and it didn't fit the movie that it was trying to be. But yeah, that's what I would have done differently. So yeah, listen. If you made it this far and you're still watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And yeah, just to say, I've said it before, but I plan to review all the Halloween movies from the original, which is already up. After this, I'll be filming Halloween 2 review, so all the way to Ends, and maybe reviewing some fan movies along the way. So, what do you think of the list? Do you agree with my pros and cons? Do you have any yourself? Do you think there's anything I haven't mentioned or missed? If so, let me know in the comment section below. We'll talk about it. So, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Oh, don't kill anyone.